as we were wrapping up the year. We had a lot going on, as many of you have seen, but it is time for us to get back in the cadence of having these updates. And what a great update for us to be able to have today as we welcome, of course, you all know our fearless leader, Alf Göran Knudsen, joining us from Quare, and also our new Vice President of Sales, Chris Cumming. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Excited.
Yeah, it is really great to have you. And of course, many of you have seen the press release and a lot of great pickup in the industry media. Alf Göran, when we started to talk about this, what did it mean? I thought it was really interesting as we started to have a conversation about how we expand, how we move into market, what it would mean to have someone take on a role like the one that Chris is taking on.
No, it means a lot for us, of course, developing what we're trying to develop and doing it the last year. It's been a different year, and the world has been different for a year, and we need to think differently. So for us to develop this way and move this way with having someone with Chris' broad experience from retail coming in and being VP of sales is a good way of expanding what we're doing. At the moment, or last year, we have, of course, had Whole Foods and the business with Whole Foods and have developed that. But now we need to, take it even further and try to move a lot of those things that we have done with the smoked salmon and burgers and dogs and retail. Just try to get our brand out to retail and expand.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like we took this on a year ago. We knew with the Eastern sales manager and the Western sales manager, but that sales piece, Chris, it takes a real special eye. And that's why we wanted for you to join this team. And so tell us a little bit about kind of your background and how this resonates. What are those things that we need to be looking at as Alf Göran says, now there's so much of a lens on retail and sales as food services expanding. What is this going to mean to this type of role to you and to a brand like ours?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Obviously, you guys coming to market at the beginning of last year and then COVID happening, right away. You guys made the announcements, January, February, and then all of a sudden March comes along and, what a blow that was. But, Quare, obviously very adaptable company. Retail obviously became even more of a focus. I know that there were big plans to, do some things in food service and, work with, multiple channels. And that was really just narrowed down to retail, given the scope of what was going on. For me, it's really exciting because we've got so many great products to offer. Obviously, the salmon itself in the fresh case does very, very well. All the attributes that come along with Quare, what we do on the farm, very sustainable fish, very high quality, very versatile. But we've also got so many other great products that you guys came out with last year, the hot dogs and the burgers and the smoke. So it's a real incredible array of amazing products. And, to be able to offer, more than one thing to the retail partners at a time where we're seeing seafood really start to grow because of what's been going on. More people are cooking at home. Before the pandemic, a lot of the seafood, most of the seafood, by majority of it, was consumed outside of the home. So now we've got all these different products that, people can go to the stores, take home, cook. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, Alf Göran, you've had such an incredible relationship with Whole Foods that has really built this foundation, but you were the one who came with the burgers and dogs and said, I think we've got something here. And talk about that with respect to the sustainability standards, utilizing that trim and getting something into market that is that much more accessible, especially from a price point perspective.
Yeah, it's like you said, Whole Foods has been a partner all the time, and we have had a good development with them for many years. But this project with the burgers and dogs has been something that I have talked about before, but not found the right channels and found the right people to work with to do it. Now we have the producer in Norway that's able to do it with our byproducts. That's also an important part. It's Klarøy's byproducts that we're using, and instead of sending them out to frozen to a lot of other countries in Asia or Eastern Europe and not getting any gain on it, we're processing it in Norway. We're taking those byproducts, adding value to them, creating an amazing product that is amazing with regards to having our salmon and being that's healthy omega-3 product. It's been not a dream, but yeah, it's been a dream to be able to use the whole salmon, because there are so many things that you can do with the byproducts that's not being done yet. So the burgers and dogs is just the start of that, and the start of what we can do with the whole of the salmon, and how we can utilize everything from the skin to the bones to the meat in the burgers and dogs, of course. So it's a start of something in a sustainable way. It's
and there is always that tenet. You know, we talk about like the foundation of who we are and looking at that why. And we've had a lot of conversations about this is about creating a sustainable food system for future generations. And it is not sustainable if we have such a high level of waste off of the fish. It's not sustainable if we're not creating something that is as nutritive as possible and that's creating contribution. So Chris, from your perspective, what does that mean when you go to create a story around it to be able to sell it? Because we've been having lots of conversations about this. The hot dogs are unique in the entire landscape of the US. They don't exist at all. So what does that mean to you and to the retailer to be able to really expand this and get it into places where maybe you couldn't have gone before?
Yeah. So first of all, if you haven't tried the dogs and the burgers yet, they are amazing. You know, my wife and I, we eat them a couple times at home each week. You know, I've talked to families with kids that love them. So it really is a product for everybody, which is really cool. But, you know, talking about the why, you know, being able to utilize as much of the product as we can and have it go to, you know, maybe not just into other areas. You know, a lot of this trim product gets sold to, you know, different markets for various reasons, but now we're using it in something that, you know, we can put in our meal plan and have part of our, you know, daily or weekly routine. And it's another option that, you know, isn't available out there. No one else is doing a salmon dog. And these really are high quality, amazing products. And, you know, if you want to, you know, barbecue at home, you know, you're having a tailgate party, instead of, you know, using the regular beef or, you know, some of these non-meat protein or hot dogs, you know, you can trade up and have a healthier choice, a healthier alternative that really is delicious. And, you know, we're utilizing more of our product in a way that nobody else is doing. So I think that's a really strong selling point for the customers that are choosing to carry it.
Well, I know a lot of this is relationship driven, and it was one of the conversations that Alfieren and I talked about, not having really been on the sales side. Of course, Alfieren really building this relationship with Whole Foods. And so what does that mean when you already have gotten such incredible response from your relationship driven sales efforts in a week in terms of different customers looking at that? What does that conversation look like? It certainly seems like from our perspective, it's built on such an anchor of trust.
It is. And, you know, you guys, you know, the rest of the team, you guys did an incredible job last year, kind of building the brand up, getting the awareness out there. And I have had a lot of people reaching out to me within the last week when they heard the news. They want to hear more. They want to learn more. They want to see what we're doing. They want to talk about it. They want to try the products. So it's really exciting. So just that accessibility, the more people we can get out there to try these products and to, have them bring them in and offer to their customers is really important. So yeah, in this business where relationships are so important, it's been the reception this, past 7-8 days, basically, since coming on board has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of discussion between Alfioran and I about, we would say it was, reap, sow, grow, repeat. And I think, Alfioran, we talked about this, but from your perspective, last year, that was a lot of sowing, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's everything changed. All the plans had to be turned upside down, and the reaping, the sowing the sowing last year was a bit longer than expected. But at the same time, I think we have made a foundation on the brand and everything, and built something that will stand for a long time. Absolutely. I know we've been in the market for many years, but never had this recognition and this feedback from the customers and from everyone we're working with on all the great things we're doing and trying to do. It's important for us to get the motivation to continue doing what we do. Absolutely. And for my team to see that now, and for the board and everyone to see what we're doing is correct, and getting that feedback is important. And it has been, even though it went the way it went, it has been a very good 2020 for us. I think we are set for the future, and having Chris on board with his experience will bring this to the next level. Absolutely. It is ready.
Yes, sow, grow, reap, repeat. Sow, grow, reap, repeat. And it does take that, doesn't it, to be able to build the brand, but it has to have that authenticity. And I think that that's what everyone has seen from us, is that why, for anyone who has not gone on the website and seen sort of our intention for 2021, this resolutions list, it really, we worked hard on looking at that and continuing to learn, continuing to be able to expand, because you, Alfioran, you have some very specific philosophies about continuous improvement. Can you share that a little bit? I mean, we never stop learning and growing, do we?
No, it's in this industry, and the last. I'm young still, I say, but I've been in this for 15 years now, and the way this industry moves now, because it's still a young industry, it's to be where we are and to be a leader in sustainability, you need to be we call it forward leaned, and yeah, be acceptant to new technology, new things happening all the time, and new ways of improving everything. So it's the whole industry wants to be better, and then we want to be best. That gives a lot of pressure on us and on the continue the development. But I think we have been good. I think the team in Norway combined with the team in the US have done a good job of finding those customer-driven ways of developing a more sustainable production of salmon, and we get a lot of praise for what we do, and that's good.
And really what we are carriers for all of this incredible good work, whether it's the technology that we're able to utilize, our feed partners in Biomar and Corbion. I mean, we're really just that conduit of getting all of that good work and intention out there. And I would say, Chris, for you, how does that get conveyed in market? Because I know that there are different customers that value different things, but now that there's so much to talk about, what are you seeing that is really resonating here to be able to expand and grow?
That's been the hardest part. There's so many good things. When I've been talking to, my contacts, friends and colleagues about what Quare does, there's such an incredible story to tell, but it's always really hard to fit everything into the conversation because we're doing so many cool things. And, I forget who said it, but, I've read a lot of materials, obviously, over the last week, coming on board. And, I think this came from one of the founders is taste isn't just a matter of taste, it's a measure of success. And we're not successful unless, our products are great and our customers accept it. And, all the things that we're doing, the practices we use on the farm, all these things really go into that. And yeah, it's hard to narrow it down into every conversation because there are so many things I want to talk about, but every customer is unique. And, there are certain things that will resonate more with, others. So, but we have so many good things to talk about. It's easy to find information and things that we're doing that will make it appealing.
Mm-hmm. And Alfiero, part of sustainability means that obviously you have a sustainable sales model that has a breadth across a number of channels. So can you talk a little bit about that? We have done some things that are retail focused. The restaurant industry here has taken a pretty good sized hit. Can you talk about, kind of the goals of that support and helping create access for the fresh, the frozen fish, and even some of these value added products into food service?
Yeah, what we have done, we shift the focus quite fast, as you said. The restaurants and food service was down. We have focused on helping them with donations, building them up, and trying to help them get back on their feet. We have done a lot of those things during the year, and we didn't developing new product was not, of course, first on our list when we started this project, but it was immediately something we saw that we needed to shift focus on. And I think bringing all of that together so fast as we did has been an important part of where we are and how we're set for 2021. Of course, it's going to be, market is always shifting. It's always difficult with markets and how they shift, and they're going to shift again back to food service and back to from retail and a little bit again. I don't think the market will be the same as it was before the COVID situation. So you need to adapt, and being a farm with their own brand and sales and everything, being so connected as we have been the last year, gives us that adaptability that a lot of the other farmers and sales organizations struggle with. We can take decisions immediately. We can do things. We can hire new people. We can adapt quickly. And I think that's also been a key part of where we are and why we are here and what we're able to do.
It's sort of like trying to turn a cruise ship, right? I mean, it's so hard to turn that big boat, but when you're just a little bit smaller and you're a little bit more malleable, although I'm ready not to be the person that's calling our brand team saying, I need that, or our photographer, can I get in to do a shoot on your Sunday? because we're rolling for burgers and dogs so quickly. But Chris, let's talk about this from a food service and chef's perspective. It's been a bumpy road for a lot of your friends. You have this culinary background, you're close to the chef community. And what do you see? What are they talking about? And how does a sustainable salmon help them recover?
Yeah, it's been hard to watch and, to see what, they're all going through. And, I think there's so much frustration. There's, just people are scared, not knowing what's going to happen. Hopefully, with the vaccine rolling out and, hopefully we will see things turn a corner this year and start to get better. Quare has done a great job of, reaching out and being there to help support them, whether it's, donations to help feed their staff and their families, or some of the other things that you guys have done over the course of the last year. But it's been really difficult to watch. But I think for us, it's just getting the message out there that we're here to support them with whatever they need right now. If it's, if it's product to help feed their families, or if it's, any other support that we can offer that will just help them, kind of struggle through these next few months until things do start to turn around. And I think it's going to be really tough to see what happens over the next few months. We still have a hard road ahead until, summer, fall, who knows when. I think, no one's got the crystal ball that will tell us exactly what's going to happen, but, we just want them to know that we're here to support them in any way we can to help out.
And what has happened in terms of the distribution model changing from your perspective? I mean, we've got Alfjord, we talk all the time about freight costs, how difficult it is just to move the fish, relying a lot on the frozen fish and really believing that fresh is the new frozen. And certainly it helped stabilize the market during its toughest time. So what do you see is changing in terms of that? We've seen some consolidation, to be fair, but what do you think is going to happen moving forward?
Yeah, more consolidation. I think you never want a pandemic or, something like this to bring something to light, but, I think more people are starting to accept frozen. Frozen seafood has had a bad reputation, but a lot of the frozen products I've tried in seafood are oftentimes better than fresh. Frozen is the new fresh, a lot of people say, but, with technology these days, you can really offer some amazing high quality frozen products. And I think that's come to light more in the past few months because of, what's been going on. There's less risk on the distributor side and on the customer side to carry frozen products. There's cost advantages, definitely. So I think we'll still see that shift towards more frozen products. And, we're in a good position at Quare with some of the things that we're offering on the frozen side. Obviously, fresh won't ever go away. There's still going to be a need for fresh, but there will be consolidation of, maybe not offering so many different salmon options, and then start to offer some frozen options as alternative to fresh products for those customers that are looking for it. I think it'll be more accepted at the restaurant level, even in some of the more premium or, upper scale restaurants. So I think it's going in a good direction, but like I said, it's unfortunate that it took a pandemic to kind of get us to see that.
Mm-hmm. Alfjord, you talk about that in terms of even just tastings. You're there on the ground every single day, laying out the fish, looking at it from harvest, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 14 days, and of course, when it's frozen. And I wondered if you could kind of share your perspective from the farm level on that, because here it's always, well, you mean you didn't get it here in a day? Oh, it's frozen. In the old days, there were concerns about that. And I love that perspective that you've talked about the age of the fish. And then, of course, ultimately the quality of what's coming out from these best in class processors that we use in terms of frozen products.
Yeah, it's the bad rep of frozen is not deserved. It's maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, we froze fish that was about to go out of expiring dates, and then that's why we still that's still hanging over us. Nowadays we freeze it even fresher than you eat it or get it fresh. It's frozen straight after processing, so it's a different completely different product. And also IVP or event vacuum packed, it's a product that can match fresh anytime. We have done a lot of testing, and we did a lot of testing with regional buyers of whole foods, and none of them could taste the difference between frozen and fresh that we serve them. And we even tried with different grades of fresh, from varying all the way from 1 day to 19 days. And people have a misinterpretation of what is fresh, what is best. They think that 1 day, as long as the fish is 1 day, that's when it tastes the best. But it's like my father-in-law say, he never eats seafood unless it's 7 days or more old. That's how we eat seafood, because the taste. It's like meat when you hang meat for I don't know the English word for it, but you hang it to
Dry
make,
age it.
yeah, dry age and make it better. That's also with the fish. The fish has more taste when it gets dry aged like fresh is. Yeah, even the testing we ended up with everyone thinking that the 12-day-old fresh was the best fish they have tasted, and everyone thinking that the frozen 12-month-old fish was the freshest fish. So it's even experts can't taste the difference now with the technology and everything. It's a completely different world. And you have different, we are using the blast freezers and IQF, so it's minus 40, 50 degrees when they freeze it down. So it's something different. Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I've been in best-in-class freezing technologies, and of course, in the U.S., when we look at what's being done in Alaska, these are things that are just kind of standard operation in the wild fish industry. Chris, I look at this as a way, if we can get over this hurdle with chefs, it is absolutely a way to bring them an affordable product with less waste, so that they don't have to worry about some of these market fluctuations that they're having now. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. Less waste, your carbon footprint goes down. We can move the product on, shipping containers versus flying. So many advantages to using it. And, people do understand, what that means. When we start thinking about like the bigger picture of climate change and how you can make a difference using a more sustainable packaging or more sustainable transportation method. I think more people are starting to understand how a frozen seafood product can actually play a role in that.
It's just amazing. And so in these last couple of minutes that we have, Chris, I always ask you, looking into the crystal ball, down the road, around the bend, from your perspective, what can people be looking for from Quarry Arctic under your leadership?
Just, more accessibility to our fish. To all the different options that we have. Whole Foods, obviously a great partner, and we're, pretty widely available around the US in the Whole Foods stores, but just more accessibility to our fish and seeing it on menus when those restaurants do start to come back and, we see food service start to make a recovery. But just I think for us, we want people to understand that we've got an amazing product, very sustainable, the most sustainable Atlantic salmon on the planet, without a doubt. And we'll continue to grow the brand and create awareness and educate people on what we're doing. And, hopefully when they do get to try the fish and taste it, it speaks for itself and they come back and become repeat customers.
Yeah, I mean, sustainability is only sustainable at scale. And with the things that you've heard from all of us about the growth in terms of production, obviously the land-based project that we've invested in, these are all things that allow us to create greater impact. And as I said before, it is authentic in that we're living every single day just as a conduit for all of this great work that's being done to help support us. And so, Chris, we're really excited to have you as part of this journey with us. And we already know from the response of the industry, and everyone is excited as they are to have you on board, Alfgeir, and I know you would probably second that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very, very good. Looking forward to 2021 with you on board for sure.
Echo that sentiment. I couldn't be more excited to be here.
And I will say, if anyone out there has any questions, needs anything, please reach out to us, whether it's at quarryarctic.com or through our social media channels. We are available. We're looking to engage, looking to grow, and of course, especially during these times, looking to support. So we thank all of you very much for tuning in, for supporting everything that we've been doing in the last year. And hang on, it's going to be a great ride going into 2021. Thank you both so much for joining us for this update. It's great to see you as always. And if there's anything that we can do out there for any of you, please don't hesitate to reach out and support and ask.
Yep.
Have a great day,
everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.